Hello, everyone. My name is Dion Morales, your host of the Gold Squadron podcast, and we're coming to you live from the top 4 of the Space Jam Premier Event Tournament. My co-host for this round is
Ryan Farmer.
That's right. The moistest of farmers.
Yep, that's what they say. But listen, in all seriousness, I am really excited for this matchup. On the left, we've got Killer Beardhawk, the Gold Squadron's very own Will Haigwood, going against LV Hunt 3er. And I don't know who is that, Dion? Do we have a name for that strange person?
That strange person. This is Richard Herman.
Richard Herman. Okay. So we've got Will on the left and Richard on the right. Will is flying Ollie's World Squad. Vader, Inquisitor, Whisper. We've talked about, we've seen it on stream several times over these past 2 days. And really, really strong squad. But I want to talk about Richard's squad on the right.
Richard from Las Vegas, farmer, is what's being put in there. I don't personally know him. Maybe I have.
Oh, he's from Vegas? I mean, whatever. LV. No, Vegas is cool. So other than their mayor. Sorry. So his squad is 4 Academy pilots, nothing on them, and Rear Admiral Shiranu with Darth Vader, Admiral Sloan, 000, BT-1, hull upgrade, and the Dauntless title. Okay. Woof. Let's break this down here. Sloan's easy. One of these 4 TIE fighters dies, that ship is going to get a couple stress tokens. Okay. Vader, really great, because if they're in the arc, they have to lose a token or they're going to take a damage. BT-1 is giving you more hit to crit conversion. So with Rack, he's just a critting machine. And 000 gets you more stress options for ships at range 1 of you. You gain a calculate token if they choose. You gain calculate token, or they have to, what is it? Lose. Sorry, I'm the worst. I just lost what I was saying.
Well, the Choose Your Champion poll is up. Go ahead and type 1 or 2 in the chat. 1 is for Killer Beardhawk, 2 for LV Hunter 3. So that's 1 for William Haigwood, 2 for Richard Herman.
Okay. Choose one enemy ship range 0 to 1. If you do, they gain 1 you gain 1 calculate token unless that ship chooses to gain 1 stress. Yes, I was right. My intuition was correct. More stressing options. If not, you can gain calculates, which is just more mods for Rack. And the whole upgrade also helps make Rack more survivable, and Dauntless allows them to bump and still take those actions. So I'm going to make this real simple, Dion.
Yep.
If Haigwood kills Rack, he wins and keeps Whisper alive, he wins the game. Whisper can eat these TIE fighters for breakfast. It's very simple. He wants to kill Rack.
Yep.
13 hull, 4 shields, lot to chew through, but you do not want to go near those TIE fighters. I'll make it easy for Richard. You don't want him to kill Rack at all. So you want to make him fight through an army of TIE fighters, getting range 1 shots with those TIE fighters, and challenge him to kill them, and say, basically stare him in the eyes and say, "Kill my TIE fighters, I dare you." And we'll just see what happens with that. It's, these aces don't like to be stressed, and they're gonna have a real interesting dilemma in how to approach Rack and not get Vadered,
yep.
and not get 000'd, and not take a whole lot of damage. Because Rack, with all the things he has going on, if he's able to reinforce, can really lay down some painful firepower.
Yeah, BT-1 plus his ability being able to change a couple of those focuses to crits and a hit to a crit can be absolutely devastating. The Dauntless title, absolutely amazing, right? Take a bump in order to basically just deny a shot. Like, oh, you can't shoot me because we're touching now, but you still get to do an action. Seems pretty strong.
Yeah.
The biggest weakness for Rack is maneuverability, though.
Sure.
One of the big tools that a lot of people like to put on Rack is Moff Deirdre in order to get that boost. But, with the loadout here with Admiral Sloan, you swap that out for the TIE fighters and Rack getting some extra modifications. Also, just putting some fear. Double stressing an ace is bad, right? It's just bad. So I want to see how they go about, this game and seeing what ends up happening.
Yeah, and we've seen Sloan in various other forms being on, ships like, the shuttle, right? Combined with some interceptors and everything. This is the first time I've seen this combination be effective in a tournament of this size. And I know that at least on our podcast, the Fly Better podcast, wink, we've talked about
shameless
TIE fight. the TIE fighters have not been super effective in either format, in hyperspace especially, because they just haven't had they don't have access to HAL Runner. But in extended, even with the price drop, you don't see academies just played that much. But here they can be put to really good use. But in my opinion, only if he can be aggressive with them and get them into those range 1 situations. You need to make them as dangerous as possible, because otherwise there's no incentive to go after them instead of Rack.
Absolutely. We're going to leave the Choose Your Champion poll up for a little bit longer. But before we go too far, we have to mention Curl Paw Creatives, our sponsor for this round. They have been supporting Gold Squadron for literally now years. In support of Curl Paw, and like, you know what? Let's just continue our partnership during this time. And so Space Jam 2020 to support Curl Paw Creatives, the supporters of Gold Squadron. It's a symbiotic relationship. Shout out to Andrew Knuckles. And if you guys didn't notice on the table, looks like actually Richard's list. He saved it prior to 24 hours because I can tell because the tokens didn't change over. But if you see on our on your screen there, we have the Curl Paw designs that we're using for the stream overlay, and those are actually only visible to you guys and to us here. You can't see them if you're playing on the table; they just look normal. But fancy magic, pretty cool.
So if we're talking about how either player is going to choose to approach this, those 3 gas clouds in the middle are going to be imperative for both, crucial for both players to use correctly. And what I mean by that is the aces have to, if they're going to have academies shooting back at them, they're going to want those clouds in between to essentially negate anything that's happening with them. Rack can use them effectively to potentially add, get a defensive die and get that conversion, right? And he's going to want to be reinforcing as much as possible as well. So how you plan for Richard, how you plan your kind of cutting down the board, your approach vector, if you can keep a wall on one side of you of those clouds, it'll be a lot easier to stay defensive. For Will, those clouds make an excellent escape route. So if things aren't going well, or if you need to kind of bring the squad about, you want to do it in such a way that you're masked by those clouds as a retreat avenue.
Oh, yeah. And, do you think this opening for Richard is it's a planned opening? It feels that way. It has that feel.
Really does, doesn't it? Like, I haven't seen any of his games yet, but he is keeping those academies tight, and he probably has flown this squad quite a bit. And I'm sure he isn't concerned that Whisper is just looking to roar up the rear over here.
One thing about Will is I will tell you that Will plays really aggressive, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him just go for it. Like, you know what? I'm gonna bring all the 3 aces, because if you look at it, we have a kind of like an Ender's Game situation here going right now. You know, the enemy's gate is down because what Will has done is he has all his ships at that 45-degree angle. But if you kind of look at the board, I'll go ahead and shift perspective here. If you look at the board this way, right, we're just on two sides of the map right now.
Yeah,
essentially,
exactly.
We're still in a deployment-esque zone, especially with Richard being on the side there.
Yeah, I actually posted a really interesting question a couple months ago, last month, a year, who knows? Time isn't real. About what X-Wing would be like if the board was diagonal. Like if you had to deploy in your corner, instead, like, you know, as the perspective you just had. And a lot of people said it would be basically the same. A lot of people said that you'd see more jousting. A lot of people said that, you know, they wouldn't like it. And I personally thought it was an interesting thought experiment, because you're really just shifting your mental perspective of the board. Obviously deployment would change, but would that mean we get engagements faster, or would it just inevitably end up being the same thing? I thought that was a cool way of thinking about X-Wing for a little bit, because the gate is down is, you know, sometimes it ends up being, after you jockey for position for a while, you get twisted around in your head of the positioning. Just shift your perspective, and sometimes that can actually open your eyes to different sorts of maneuver options.
Yep. If you've ever been at an in-person event and you see somebody, you know, just walk to the complete other side of the table, that's another example of just getting perspective. All right, so it looks like TIE fighters are moving fast here.
Don't be surprised for Will to go after some of these TIE fighters too. Like, obviously you want to go after Rack, but I wouldn't, like, if he's say it's fine, I'll, like, the Inquisitor can take the double stress, like, whatever, you know? Because let's say at time he kills 3 TIE fighters and only loses Inquisitor, wins the game, right? When you're looking at your win conditions for something at this high of a level, you have to look at how much your ships cost and what that means for your win condition. So half of Rack is, what is it? He's 17 points, so he needs to get 8. He needs to get 8 health? No, 9 health off Rack because of the shield upgrade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the hull upgrade. So he needs to get 9 health on Rack in order to get 56 points. Yeah,
that's how math works.
56, right? Yeah, so 56 points. So half of Rack and losing Inquisitor still wins in the game, right?
Yep.
Half of Rack and a TIE fighter is 78 points. So that means he could lose Darth Vader, and like just Darth Vader, and half Rack and kill TIE fighter, win the game. He could lose just Whisper and half Rack and kill TIE fighter, win the game. But he can't lose Whisper and kill 3 TIE fighters and win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you start doing this math at the start of the game to help figure out your target priority. And as the game shifts and changes, let's say Vader starts to look like he's in trouble and you haven't even gotten close to having Rack, right? And you've killed 1 TIE fighter, you're like, oh God, maybe I should shift, you know? Maybe I shift like my what my strategy is for the game. But for me, opening just to start, I think what you'd like to do, if your will, is just really attack Rack and start chipping away. You can do the damage on him. It might take a while, but you want to do it as early and as often as possible while you have the time to do it. And you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to kill Rack. So, like, getting him to have to start is fine.
All right, so Rack is currently stressed. Just continuing to hug the edge of the board. You know, one of the strategies with using that board edge is it closes off avenues for your opponent to come through, right? Like, it can create, I don't want to say force field. You have that edge there where your opponent can't come in, of course, in this matchup, unless you got something weird that lets you deploy somewhere. But one of the things that I want to see is how long is Richard planning on keeping to the edge? Because from the feel of it, right? You could even see this when we stream in person. You can get that feel like, all right, Richard feels like a very patient person, very, very patient. Richard, by the way, is the LV hunter. Okay, seems very patient and just slowly going little by little. And it has to pick a spot.
The thing about Dauntless too is he's more than okay just like bumping into the back of these TIE fighters turn after turn after turn and taking the stress. Like if like he's in a situation where these TIEs can do 2 forwards and he can do 2 forward, bump behind them, it's totally fine. He's able to slow rack down a little bit. The TIE fighters allow him to control where he's going, right?
Mm-hmm. So it looks like,
and that's something, based on how you maneuver the 4 TIE fighters in front of him, he can go essentially nowhere and still get his actions and clear that stress turn after turn. And that's something that could catch players off guard. Like they fly in and they're like, Rack will keep moving, and like, no, he's not moving anywhere.
Yep.
Because here's the other thing: it's okay if the TIE fighters don't have actions. The TIE fighters could just start self-blocking themselves, right? They could one hard into one another, and Rack could say, like, plant their flag and be like, "We're here. Like, this is where we're gonna live now."
All right, TIE fighters have broken the formation, starting to spread out a little bit. Green, it's kind of. Do you think is Green like the hey, shoot me?
I mean, that's the point, right?
What could go wrong?
Free shot. If he doesn't shoot him to kill him, he's just gonna have free shots. But the other thing I think Green is doing is, like I said before, creating situations where now Rack can bump into him to the right next turn, right? You know what I mean?
The
Green
back
could
is
do a
reinforced
one
here.
hard to the left next turn, keeping those options open, reinforcing the butt.
And there is the hard turn for Whisper. Whisper is currently sitting in the arc of Rack. Has the option to barrel roll if he wants, but nope, staying aggressive. This is what I'm talking about. Will.
Yeah.
Will does not.
Taking that passive.
Yep. And of course, he's going to get that, assuming you hit the decimator, which has 0 agility, probably. We'll get an additional evade, so probably not taking
Gotta be
too
careful
much
about
damage.
that Darth Vader, though.
Oh, snap. You're right. Vader.
If he's in that arc, Vader can strip a token off Whisper.
Vader,
now, Whisper will probably get the evade back. But
Vader clipped the cloud there. Rolled a crit.
I don't think that strains him. I don't think.
Yep.
Right?
No strain.
Crit doesn't strain?
Does not. And he's going to go ahead and use Afterburners.
Yeah, highly aggressive.
Uses the Force. And here, right there, that is because Afterburners gives you the boost action. What Will did there is it allowed him to hit the cloud and still get actions.
Yeah, and he doesn't care about that Academy fighter in front of him. He's going to just shoot at Rack.
All right, guys, I got to get that dice cam up here. I realized that it turned off. Give me a second. Dice camera.
Inquisitor is more than safe now. Vadered off the evade, it looks like, off of Whisper.
And got it just in time.
This is Vader, I think.
Yep.
Hit crit into Rack.
No reinforce on that one.
Nope. That's 3 shields right there. That's 1/3 of the way to half. One shot.
Yeah, we got Vader all over the place. And here's an opportunity for Whisper to possibly push a crit through with Fifth Brother. Has a target lock.
We'll spend the lock.
Or no, did not. Did he forgot the passive sensors?
Oh, he did.
Missed opportunity there for William Haigwood. Oh no, was that rack firing? That was rack.
Oh, this is rack firing. Okay.
Got it.
Never
Got
mind.
it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Got it. We dumb. We got it, chat.
Rawr.
Oh, jeez. Whisper's just crushing.
Hit, crit, and that means that he's going to be taking a shield and a crit, and the crit is a direct hit. Takes an additional damage card. Oh, look at that pro level move. Did you see that? Pro level. Put it in the dice box. That is somebody who is been on stream before. Whisper gets evade.
5 damage onto rack in 1 round.
Inquisitor looking for who he wants to shoot at. Is going range 2 at the purple TIE fighter. All right.
He'll just leave it.
1 hit.
And this was what I was talking about Richard early in this game. He needed to make these TIE fighters more dangerous to some of these ships, right?
Yep.
Like right now, Will doesn't care about them.
Nope.
And even if he kills Inquisitor here, half of rack, which is almost there, it's almost not like he's losing still.
Even trade. All right, 2 hits. And Vader natties out.
Sure does.
From the TIE fighter shot.
No, that's the Inquisitor, not Vader.
No, that was Vader.
No, wouldn't that TIE fighter, if he was shooting at Vader, have 3 dice?
He did.
Oh, okay.
Yep. 2 blanks.
I thought he only rolled 2.
And Eyeball's going to go ahead and convert those to focuses. Those focuses to hits.
Yeah, Whisper can just decloak left, right? And just keep on hitting rack from the side.
Use the evade token there on the Inquisitor. 2 more hits. Coming in, 4 for the Inquisitor, and a single force will make it so that 0 damage was sustained there for the Inquisitor. He did have to use both force, but didn't take any damage, so that works. You know, people are talking about it in the chat, so I think we have to address it, Ryan.
The collusion?
The collusion here, yes. Like,
the Gold Squadron collusion?
So there is a possibility, there is a timeline here where both Will and Ryan, so Ryan Sanazuski, both podcast hosts for Gold Squadron, end up in the final. Like that would be an ultimate bamboozle. I think that would be hilarious. But at the same time, I'm going to be super proud of my guys. I mean, already, like, they got in the top 4. I mean, has done an amazing job against a really hard field. There's a lot of great players in this tournament. Maze Room says free shipping for a Dion. No, it's funny because both Will and Ryan are the ones that are not in Chicago.
Wrecked. All right, well, let's talk about what Richard can do here, right? So Whisper will probably Did Whisper not cloak? May have opted to not cloak. Let's see.
Quick shout out
Looks
here
like
to Whitney.
I don't know if I see the cloak token, but
I got to do a shout out to Whitney Jardine for becoming a patron. Thank you so much. The cloak token is on top of the base right now.
oh, it's on the base. Okay.
On the
Anyway,
base.
Whisper will probably decloak left, right? 1 bank or 2 bank to the right. That's okay. It's fine. Rack and these TIE fighters could go after the Inquisitor. The green one has a good shot to block Vader. So what you could do is maybe like turn everyone in and do everything you can to hit Vader. The risk there is Vader goes, you know what? This is fine. And he just 2 hearts away from you.
Yep.
And says, I'm not going to get blocked, but I'll catch up later. It's okay. So I think almost definitely Vader just turns out here.
Yep.
And says, we're good. I'll come back. You guys take care of this. I'll be fine. I actually wouldn't be surprised if the Grand Inquisitor does a 1 heart to his left, moving towards board right, gets behind that gas cloud, and then decides to barrel roll or boost depending.
Yeah,
Whisper.
I think he has
just
the space.
Fifth brother. Sorry.
I think he has the space. I'm going to the top-down view here so people can see. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think he almost definitely has that space to do that 1 hard. And Whisper, even if Rack is reinforced from the back, it's fine because she's not scared of those TIE fighters in any way, shape, or form. So Whisper will just, with that 0 agility and 5th brother and passive, she'll just say, that's fine. You can be reinforced. I'm going to crit you every single turn, and I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep doing it.
Excellent.
I mean, that's my analysis of this situation.
I mean, yeah, Whisper right now is in control of the damage for Rack. And we talked about it a little bit. The maneuverability, the lack of maneuverability for Rack is going to be the downfall. Whisper just got to play patient and just take the shots.
Now, what he has to be careful of is that he doesn't lose Whisper and like get in a trap where like the TIE fighters flip around or something and he chases too hard with Whisper and Rack's able to get her, right? If you can, you set yourself in a situation where Whisper can bail and then you rotate your aces.
So here we go. We got the K turn from the green TIE fighter trying to see if he can get Vader in the box and anticipating Whisper coming towards the middle of the board. All right, and it looks like those TIE fighters are chomping at the bit to get to the Inquisitor. Rack making the turn there to also prepare to fire at Darth Vader or the Inquisitor, depending on where he wants to go. Whisper,
sure.
I'm surprised to see him go so fast. Honestly, I'm surprised to see it be that aggressive, but it's going to guarantee a shot, range 2. Darth Vader crew for the Decimator, though, will be triggering.
It is really aggressive. I think I would have left the Decimator there by that TIE fighter that we had talked about before, how I'd mentioned he's in a situation where he could 1 hard or something and the Decimator could self-bump into them. I think I would have left Rack there.
I'm sorry. I got excited here. Look at Will here jumping over the TIE fighters, got into range 1 right behind Rack.
Love it. Really strong play.
Extremely aggressive.
Just calling it.
That is who.
Now it'd be really funny if Vader just does if Vader does like the 2 hard or the 1 bank or something and say it's okay.
Now he did barrel roll there with the Inquisitor to not take the range 1 shot. Pretty sure he's out of arc now, but that means they're going to be both out of arc. Vader takes the bump onto the Decimator, avoiding the range 1 shot. Only going to be shot by the TIE fighter. Seems best case scenario there.
Yeah, I really think that Rack should have like tried and tried to have self-bumped in that particular situation, he'd be in a really good spot to just punish this move by will. But, you know, obviously Richard has played this squad way more times than I have. It's easy to backseat X-Wing turn by turn by turn as we see it, right? I don't want to like hindsight bias it, but, you know, you're trying to avoid as many shots as possible. And Richard might think that here his Decimator has a better outlet next round to escape behind some of these clouds and give him some extra defense. So he's gonna triple zero someone, get a calculate.
Did his evader.
Doesn't want to take that stress. And I want to see where he decides to
use the Vader trigger. He used it on Whisper.
Yeah, use that Vader trigger.
He used it on
Probably
Whisper.
On Whisper, right?
And Whisper just actually spent the evade instead of the focus.
Right.
Vader will have a shot here at either of the TIE fighters at range 2. One crit out there. Safe.
Yeah, no problem. So now it should be Rack, I think, or Whisper. Is it Whisper on Rack right now?
This is Rack versus Whisper. Yeah, and he did the Vader on Whisper to try to get like Whisper is really the game. He's gonna get no reinforce here, so just one hit.
Brutal.
Got the evade.
No problem for Whisper. Keeping the pressure on.
All right, Whisper will be taking that range 2 shot. No rerolls, but has a focus and a force. And there's going to be a 5th brother trigger there.
No doubt.
Unless, oh no, he had a target lock from last time.
He still has his lock from last round.
From last round, 5th brother there for the crit.
Crit. No reinforce.
And that's a fuel leak. That's going to be a problem for later. So fuel leak, for people who don't know what fuel leak is after you suffer a crit, suffer an additional damage. And Richard has placed fire on his rack.
I'm really surprised that he didn't Vader crew Vader. You can do it at range 0, right?
Yeah.
Or am I wrong?
I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and just take a look at the peek at the card here. I know it's range 0 to 2. I think the idea was so Richard is behind, right? Even before we started, he was behind. His only chance to really get Whisper, who's going to be the big heavy hitter in this squad, who's going to be able to consistently get shots on Rack, was get rid of the evade token, hope that we can punch through the focus, and then have an opportunity to maybe do some damage and avoid getting damage with a little bit less mods on Whisper. It didn't work out that way,
yeah, and
but I think that was the thought process.
In the long run too, like you have to kill Whisper to even have a shot to win the game. Like if you lose Rack and kill Vader and the Inquisitor, Whisper just kills TIE fighters. Like, that's what she does. Whisper destroys them. It's no problem. So, only 8 hull left on Rack. In order to have any kind of semblance of a chance to win the game, he has to kill Whisper.
Gnomish Incan in the chat says, they cooking barbecue ribs on the Decimator. Makes me hungry. I'm actually having barbecue for dinner tonight. I'm so excited.
Oh, are you? Nice.
I am.
Trying to think of moves that would work here for Richard. They're all bad is the short answer, but I think what you have to do is move that TIE fighter up, self bump your Decimator, rotate your arc in a way that allows you to, man, even Whisper did cloak, so I think you self bump your Decimator, and figure it out from there.
Yeah. So half points are so close to be given up. Right, 'cause how much health do these things have? They have 16, right? 16 plus he has 17 in there, so just one more. Oh no, he already gave up half. It's already given up. All right. Man, this tournament has been wonderful. You know, one of the things though, I know that there was a couple people earlier in the chat who were like, you know, who are so questioning some of the decisions that Richard make. But I would say that overall, this was a hard matchup for Richard because of the maneuverability of Whisper, as well as the this triple ace matchup is one of them that can take advantage of the weaknesses of the Decimator, and that's the lack of maneuverability.
Oof, yeah.
So TIE Fighters starting to spin around here.
The smoke is a nice touch, though.
I wonder if Whisper is just doing the one hard.
We'll see. We'll see.
Again, Will plays.
Like I said,
Will plays super
Richard
aggressive.
needs to kill Whisper to get back into the game.
Yeah, and Will, like I was saying earlier, plays super aggressive. Like there's a couple ways to play Whisper, like a surgeon or like a football player. Will's more of the football-y type. He's just going for it. Got the blood in the water. We'll see.
But again, these TIE fighters haven't done much of anything the whole game. You have 4 ships that have provided little or no value. And when you have a Sloan, your opponent knows that they're not going. You have to make them dangerous. Get them into range 1. You got I don't need to lecture Richard on this. He probably knows. He's in the top 4. But you want those ships, to the chat and anyone listening. Those TIE fighters don't provide you that value if they're not doing anything and not threatening.
Yep. So here's Whisper. There's the candy cane. And the passive sensors was the action for Whisper. Talon roll with Vader, who has a target lock out there already. This is an all-in on Rack this turn. What was the Rear Admiral's action?
I think it was a rotate.
I think he repaired fuel leak. The card is face down now.
Oh, okay.
He sure did. Yes, because
Oh, he didn't rotate. He was already rotated from last. So yeah, seems pretty good to save yourself a damage, eh?
Yeah. That's why the smoke was gone. It was a crit marker. That's cool. All right, we're waiting for shots here.
And you see where that one TIE fighter is, I think green? How he's at range 1, and none of those ships are going to shoot him. They're going to shoot at Rack instead.
Yep.
The other 3 TIE fighters should be at range 1 with a focus.
All right.
But you sell out. He's going after the Inquisitor.
Vader's
on those ones, and it
unobstructed.
didn't work out. Will made a great play.
He has a target lock. One changes to a crit because of the ship ability, and you spend the force.
Right.
Hit, crit, crit.
Yeesh.
This one is range 3. Got an evade there, but taking 2 crits right now.
Ouch.
First crit is a blinded pilot, no modifications for you. And second is stun pilot. Obstacles suffer damage if you hit them.
No mods.
We could see Rack potentially go down this turn. Here is the Inquisitor firing at... See, he grabbed 3 dice. So I'm assuming he's going to use the force for the ability.
Oh, okay.
Hit, crit, crit. Oh, this is Rack. Sorry, this is Rack
hit,
shot.
crit, crit in the whisper, I think.
Oof.
Did he Vader on this turn or no? Yeah, so spends the evade token, right?
Spends the evade. He's going to take 1 shield at the end.
Yeah.
He spent the force as well.
That's fine. It's okay. I mean, that's what Richard needed, but obviously he wishes he had had that the other times he had shot at Whisper and stripped a token. Whisper gets to fire back at range 2 now.
All right. So it's just going to end up being 1 crit for now, but has the...
I think he had passive up, right? To take a lock? Unless he forgot. No, he already had a lock. Yeah, he had the lock.
And hit, crit, crit.
My goodness. The crits keep coming and they just keep... they don't stop coming.
First crit is Hull Breach. Everything's face up now. And another fuel leak. We're sitting at... Is that 3 hull now?
Yeah. And the Inquisitor is here to say hello.
Yep, 3 hull left because of the hull upgrade.
And everything's face up. So...
Oh my goodness,
crit,
that's right. So he only needs 2.
Yeah, he just needs 2.
Because the fuel leak will trigger.
Yeah.
He went ahead and used the ability.
Sure should.
And
Easy.
that's going to be
That'll
Rack.
do it. Toast.
All right, so that's 112-0 at the moment. We just got TIE Fighters versus 3 aces. The only damage right now on Will's side is a single shield.
We got a danger of a full tabling here too.
Definitely. Okay, we're going to stick with this match probably for a couple more turns, just depending on how things go. We might switch over to the other game, guys. Just be ready. Obviously, we'll have to go to their table for that. We haven't done that today. All the games have been on our table. The risk of going to another table is that we don't know the stability of the person who made the server.
Hey, Dion, just to chime in, would that end their game if we left this server here? That disconnect them?
Ooh, you're right. Well, no, because I'm on a second computer, I would switch to computer 2 so that we would still have a view of everything. And yeah, we'd still have it.
Cool.
So the server computer is going to stay. And I'll go down a camera, but we got options. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead. We'll let them play it out a little bit, see how these things go. TIE fighters, pew 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 pew. Man, the academies came down to the academy.
These poor academies.
They never had a chance.
They're looking at Will's Vader and be like, "Hey, can we join you?"
Same team.
Same team? Same team?
Couple people are asking about future events. Yes, we are going to have more events for sure. We're going to do 3 more Space Jams. Okay, we're going to do a European time zone one. We're going to do an Australian time zone one and another American time zone. I probably should have done this one Eastern and then done Western. That way we kind of had a difference there. But we'll do the other one probably with the West, or I'll just do it Central again because I can. I don't know. Don't know right now. But those are the plans right now. I'm going to be working on dates here very soon. But this event, this weekend, has proven this as an option. And I have enough prize support to have this basically be a series. All right? Have this be a series. And, yeah, it should be great. Belinda Mood says, next time I'm in. Shout out to Belinda Mood. Always, it's super cool to see that first subscriber there. He's a founder. He was the first person to subscribe to us on Twitch. The first person to believe.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
"32 months in a row." Wow. A couple people asking about, official FFG support or something like that. Honestly, they can't, and I would prefer to avoid those entanglements so that we can just operate how we operate and just keep things rolling, man. But I appreciate the sentiment because I know you guys are. It's coming from a spot of you guys are enjoying the content, you're enjoying the events, and that's what matters to me. You guys are having a good time, and that we're keeping. Somebody said it actually perfect right here. This is from Catastrophe. Keeping the flame alive for X-Wing. Ryan, thank you for being part of that flame.
I'm your biggest fire starter, baby. Not even my moisture can extinguish the flame of our love.
So the Inquisitor just went over the gas cloud there. All right. Looks like Whisper did bump there. And it's going to be taking a range 1 shot from a TIE fighter. Whisper could get really sad if this is a good shot. Hit crit. Does have an evade, though. And the force available. Or just
No
natty,
problem.
yeah. Or just do that. This is fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Red TIE Fighter has a range 2 shot on the Vader.
You know what else this game does, Dion? It extinguishes one flame, the flame of hope the chat had that they could get that bonus prize. 2 days in a row, they bungled game picks.
Yep. So the bonus prize goes back into the vault for next time.
Sure does.
When is the
F's in the chat for the chat.
Expect the announcement for the next Space Jam probably in the next few days, and it will be probably in 2 to 3 weeks. I gotta plan accordingly, check a couple things. Gotta work with my staff, make sure people are available so they can run as smoothly. You know who feels the worst?
Who does?
The people who voted correctly each time. I'm sure there's at least one person in the chat going, I voted right every time.
Yeah, but the herd didn't.
Right.
And much like corporations, the chat are people. So all their collective voice counts as one voice.
Yep. A couple of people are asking about the Euro Space Jam and Aussie Space Jam. If the Euros and the Aussies will get priority in sign up. Yes, I'm going to try. There's a couple of different ways. I've gotten some suggestions, but honestly, the way that we're probably going to go about it is we will not publicly announce when the sign up time is going to be. We're gonna leak it. We're gonna leak it through the channels, the European channels. First, I'll get some of the community leaders that I know to spread the link. There's going to be 148 spots, and then after probably, we'll make it, because last time it sold out in a little more than 24 hours. It was 29 hours, and so we'll give it 12 hours or so, and then I'll publicly announce so that we can get the rest of the people in there.
That's a good strategy. I approve.
So for instance, I'm good friends with some people from Sith Takers, the Weekend Warlords, the 186. We got the guys in Poland. I don't know what they're Legion. A couple of the I don't know, Wampa Squadron, Italian guys. I think they're called the Italian Academy. I'm forgetting the names. We know some of the Swedish players, some of the German players. Okay, we're gonna try really hard to get to those groups and find out who those people are first before we get it out there. That way we give people a fair chance. If you go 150, yeah, that's why we're going to do 148. Did I say 150? Was thinking 256. No, so we're not going to go bigger for Space Jam just because we're kind of making it a series. Oh, Dutch, you're explaining why not for 148. Gotcha. Thanks, fam. Yeah, we want to kind of keep the series the same. And I think what we're going to do is after this, after Euro, US Part 2 and Oz, we're going to try to do another event, a different event, new prizes. And this gives me time to start curating those things. That will be a Day 1A and Day 1B. Okay? Somebody asking, if we played in this one, can we still play in the other one? Sure. I don't mind.
Am I gonna help commentate the next one, Dion?
You can.
Yes.
Here's your job offer right now.
We got it. I did it.
All right. You got to be awake, though. You got to sleep train. You got to have the mind ready.
My sleep schedule is non-existent.
There you go. 1 damage goes through there on a TIE fighter.
I want to give a shout out just to, again, the entirety of the X-Wing community, because, you know, this is a really rough time that a lot of people are going through. And, you know, all of us together being able to, you know, we have 433 people watching this game right now. And it's awesome that this one board game can kind of allow us to have the sort of communication and, I don't know, just sense of community to keep us going in these isolated times. And that's a credit to you, Dion, for being able to do this. And it really, you know, feels good.
It does feel good. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and take a peek at the other table. You guys will still be watching this game for a minute. Never fear. Nothing will explode. I guess, no, we're going to lose the dice cam, aren't we? Chris Burnett, thank you so
Dion
much.
does that. We'll get an update on that next game. Just so you guys know, Octor with his Cartel Spacer Tractor Beam Ion nonsense is playing Ryan Staniszewski's It's the Resistance nonsense. So we very possible will have gold on gold violence in the finale. We'll see if Octor comes out on top in his game. Dion will let us know in a minute.
Cool. People are being funny here. Somebody asked, if we scrubbed out of this one, do we get a first round bye in the next one? No. You didn't earn it. What did you earn? And there was also a couple of other people with some other suggestions, like top 16 getting, you know, like a quote unquote like an invite, priority invite. I like the idea. I wish I would have thought of it before, but I say like because it wasn't part of the prize pool before. I don't want to put that on late. I guess if I wanted to do that, I'd have to announce that right now. But I think there's just a lot of interest, and that's why I'm hesitant to do that. Maybe. I love how the top 16 players in the cut going, yeah, you should do that. All right, do me a favor, Nick. I need you to communicate to the players that they should roll on the mat here for a little bit because the dice cam's going down.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. All right, Ryan, I need you to paint a picture with your words for a little bit because I got to go to the other room and see how things are going.
Okay. So we're going to start with a blue canvas. So we're just going to take that canvas and I want you to paint it all blue. Okay. And if you mix just a little bit of red into your blue, you're going to get more of a purple look. And we're going to start just speckling a little bit of purple into the northern side, kind of that upper side of your blue canvas. And if you start continuing to add more and more red into this, you're going to get a darker purple, which we're going to slowly gradient from that blue part of the canvas upwards so that the dark part of your canvas. Oh, man. I don't want to paint the whole picture. I'll let you guys fill in the blanks. Be creative. Go crazy. Happy little crits.
You're terrible.
I know, I'm the worst. You told me to paint a picture. I'm nothing but a good employee, Dion. So these TIE fighters are still, holding on. They haven't been able to do any damage. They're kind of clustered up in the top, but Whisper is, they're all, the aces are trying to consolidate down, chew this down. Only 14 minutes left. It is one of those situations where it's barely inevitable. And it does suck when you get into these types of games and you're playing, like, Richard obviously knows his chances are slim to none, and you got to play out those last 15 minutes. For him, just having anything could be a win here, because you don't want to have to go through that full tabling.
You ready for the update?
I'm ready. What's up?
Here we go. On Ryan's side, he has lost Finn. Finn is gone. Rose still full, Zari full, Greer full, ZZ shields are down. On Octa's side, remember he's got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ship list. One of the 2 zealots are down. 1 zealot is full. Tractor cartel spacer is full. One of the tractor ones is dead. Ion cannon Seek is full, and the last ion cannon Seek has 1 shield down. Score wise, I think that it's pretty even, because you lost Finn and half of ZZ. It sounds pretty even, but
Finn being dead is huge in that matchup.
And looking at the positioning right now, let's see. Oh, I'm surprised that Greer didn't take more damage there. What part of the phase are we in right now? They got 13 minutes left on their clock. You know what? We'll do a quick switcheroo. Okay.
A little switchy switch.
A little switchy switch. Let me go ahead and get in position here, and we can do a pseudo GSPN here. Okay, where we switch back and forth. Okay. We won't have an overlay for this one though, guys. So don't frig out. Okay, so we're gonna save that camera angle. All right, cool. Let's switch over. Where is the pop? And 3, 2, 1. Oh, well, gotta fix that. Gotta do a thing here.
Oh, there you go.
Hold on.
Nope. Now they're gone.
It's gone.